The Badge Man is the name given to the shadowy figure some claim is distinguishable in a snapshot taken in Dealey Plaza, Dallas, on November 22, 1963, by Mary Moorman, eyewitness to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The photo was calculated to have been captured less than 1/6 of a second after President Kennedy's head exploded in, as one witness described it, a halo of blood. The foreground of the photo is taken up by the occupants of the presidential limousine and 2 Dallas police motorcycle escorts, while in the middle ground are several other close witnesses, including Abraham Zapruder. In 1982, Gary Mack, curator of the Assassination Museum in the former Texas School Book Depository, claimed to have discovered a hitherto unnoticed presence in the deep background of the photo on the grassy knoll behind the wooden fence and hidden within the deep shade of a large oak tree. The alleged figure has been dubbed the Badge Man because it appears to be a uniformed police officer wearing a gleaming badge on his chest, his face partially obscured by a puff of smoke issuing from the muzzle of a just-fired weapon. True believers claim that this is the only known photograph of the so-called grassy knoll assassin, and proof positive that the theory of a lone gunman is erroneous. But as the area of the photo that contains the figure occupies only about 1 square quarter of an inch of the original Polaroid, its critics claim that it is nothing more or less than a paranoid Rorschach test, and that whether one sees a lurking assassin in it or not is entirely dependent on what one wishes to see. The House Select Committee investigating the assassination submitted a copy of the photo to the Rochester Institute of Technology, but the area around the fence was deemed so underexposed that it was impossible to enhance so as to prove or disprove the presence of a human figure. In the mid-1980s, assassination researcher Jack White adjusted the contrast and brightness of the photo, then enhanced the critical area with what he described as clear photographic colored oils. The result convinced some, though others were less than impressed. But the sophistication of photographic enhancement technology has increased enormously since the 80s, and the latest attempt to tease further information from the Badge Man photo, utilizing state-of-the-art algorithms developed for use by the CIA, reveals that there is indeed someone behind the fence. But the figure that emerges is not dressed as a police officer. What was previously thought to be a glinting badge and gunsmoke partially obscuring the face is in fact a lens flare created by the reflection of sunlight off an object. The enhancement algorithm extrapolates the shape of the only object that could have produced this refraction: a folded newspaper, or possibly a magazine. When the flare is removed and the enhancement software extrapolates the missing region of the man's face, it is revealed to be none other than Lee Harvey Oswald. He was actually on the grassy knoll and not in the book depository at all. On the right side of the frame you can see that he holds a rifle in his left hand, though clearly not in a position for firing, proving that he did not fire the fatal shot. Even 10 years ago, it would have been impossible to glean any more information from this tiny section of an old Polaroid. But today, it is possible for spy satellites to read the front page of your morning newspaper from outer space. So we placed the photo on the ground and aimed a spy satellite at it. And before long, the writing on the periodical held in Oswald's right hand became legible. It turns out not to be a newspaper, but a folded copy of the New Yorker magazine. Clearly, we are meant to believe that Oswald is capable of understanding those confusing cartoons they have in the New Yorker. But further enhancement reveals that the photograph has been doctored, and it is not the New Yorker at all. In fact, it is the November 1963 issue of Jugs, a magazine whose cartoons are a good deal easier to understand.